Hey guys, I am here today with this. This is the 2025 Polestar 3. Let's get into it. So if you're not familiar with Polestar, for a long time it was the performance line of Volvo, and then it became the first all-electric line from Volvo, but still with a bit of performance. What makes this model really interesting is it's Polestar's first SUV. In a world that's rapidly filling with electric crossover SUVs, it's very difficult to stand out. Here are a few things that makes this Polestar 3 stand out, in my opinion. Number one, the minute you get behind the wheel of this thing, you're like, oh, this isn't just an SUV, this is a performance car. It feels heavy, the steering is insanely precise, the acceleration is beautiful, the way it handles around curves is just delicious. Second, the technology. It's powered by Google, you can see that all over the dash. The cameras are spectacular and the sensors are amazing. You'll see that call out the smart zone sensor cluster here. You see a lot of the technology behind the wheel, and that makes for a really elevated driving experience, particularly when you're a performance driver. Let me tell you a little bit more about that inside. Okay, so if you guys watch my other videos, you know that I drove the Polestar 2 and loved it. Here's the, here, you can watch that here. But the Polestar 2 is a nice luxury EV, but it's not a performance vehicle. Sorry, I didn't feel that. So when I got in the Polestar 3, I was like, okay, another, luxury EV, here we go. But then I got to this stoplight at the bottom of Topanga Canyon Boulevard and Mulholland Drive. That's my favorite straightaway. And I like driving an EV there because I get instant torque. And this one has 620 foot-pound. And I boomed it up the straightaway, which was so much fun. But then when I hit the curve, I was like, oh, okay, I gotta slow down. Guess what? I didn't need to slow down. I sped up in the Polestar 3, and it was so much fun. Like the way this vehicle hugged the curves and allowed me to truly canyon carve was something I've really missed in my stupid Tesla and really enjoyed in the Polestar 3. Let me run through some of the engineering that make that possible in the Polestar 3. So we've got, as I said, it's got 620 foot-pound of torque, 489 horsepower, from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. It's got dual chamber air suspension, adaptive dampers, active roll bars, and true torque vectoring rear axle, which is one of those words that people toss around a lot, but it's one of those things that you really miss when you don't have. And I'm really happy to say the Polestar 3 had it in spades. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about the driving performance, but let's talk about this idea that I touched upon in the beginning about the vehicle and its technology. You can really feel that technology, especially with, it's one of those companies that's doing a lot of over-the-air updates. Like there's just a new one where you can open it with your Apple Watch, which is great. You can also share up to 5 keys with other users. I mean, these are the things that make us love Tesla because it's such a technology-forward company. And everyone's all excited about the software, but there is some great stuff going on in this vehicle that make the driving experience that much more elevated. Also, what's really great about the Polestar's interior is the sense of luxury. It really takes that simplistic Swedish design that we love in Volvo and adds a few scale trims that just make it that much more elevated. Really, really nice. This one's configured with Napa leather. I've got seat heaters, seat coolers. As I said before, the sensors and the cameras are exceptional. This sound system is outstanding. In fact, I just drove a luxury car a few weeks ago that really touted the sound system, and it was about half as good as this one. It's truly extraordinary. There are things that, like in the HVAC system, there's also a clean air sensor that can tell you how the pollution is outside the vehicle and inside the vehicle. And as someone that's living in the aftermath of the Palisades fires, I really appreciated that. Actually knowing that there was an active air filtration system in this vehicle felt really, really good. If I would compare this level of luxury, to be honest, the vehicle that really comes to mind is the Lucid Air. It's one of those cars that when you get behind the vehicle, you know that you're driving something different and the entire experience is elevated. Polestar has done that. Lucid did it in spades. And that's a hard thing to do in this crowded EV market. Boy, it was a lot of fun. Passenger seat in the Polestar 3. I mean, listen, this is really nice. There is also a massage seat feature in the front seats, which is really nice. Obviously, like who doesn't want a massage? Hello. Again, you get this sense of luxury, elevated. The materials are all really nice to the touch. This enormous interface here is fantastic because it's just as accessible to the front passenger as it is to the driver without doing one of those, you know, cross the dash screens that everybody's doing, because I just think those are ugly. And frankly, incredibly distracting unless they're done well, which I'll do in another video. But this is really nice. You've got your Google Assistant, you've got the whole Google suite. You also get Apple CarPlay. And again, your passenger can reach it just as easily as the driver. One thing to think about is if you don't want anybody knowing what music you're listening to, you're gonna have to configure that differently, because when you put your music on in this, it takes up the whole screen so everybody knows that you're listening to Boyz II Men, just as a random example. Back seat, sorry about the crap lighting. I mean, the back seat in this is delicious. It just is. And the vehicle feels so enormous back here. Obviously, again, this is a trick that they're all doing right now, which is they give you this big moon roof, this inoperable glass ceiling, so the whole vehicle feels bigger. But you also have a lot of legroom. Like you could put any size human back here and they'd be fine. Again, for reference, I'm 5'6". The legroom is extraordinary. There's a armrest that comes down. It's wide and very nice. And you have vents. People can control their HVAC system back here, which is quite active. I've got USB-C chargers down in the bottom, another vent here, coat hooks, things like that. But again, the amazing Bowers & Wilkins systems coming through there. This is the kind of EV, also because of that beautiful suspension that I mentioned before, that I would not mind sitting in the back seat. It should be noted that often sitting in the back seat of a Tesla Model Y is torture and will make anyone get car sick. And that is also sometimes true for the Model S, just because they're just so stiff that the suspension just doesn't want to make you sit back there. It's truly awful. But this is a different experience. All right, guys, love me a hatchback. Said it once, I'll say it a bajillion times. I'm gonna save you guys the shame of what happened to me, which was walking up to this vehicle with a bunch of groceries and not figuring out how to open the trunk. It was really awesome. But it's down here. Wasn't expecting it down here, but it makes a lot of sense. I was kind of looking around here. I was pushing all these buttons. I was either pushing here because that's what the Genesis does. No, you open it up down here. Fine. Okay, so how big is this back end? I mean, it's very similar to what you'll find in the Ioniq 5. It's enormous. You get, you know, again, I'm 5'6", so this is, you're fine. You can put all your luggage back here. We've got a 12-volt charger back here. You've got the 60-40 split with the back seats. They fold flat. It also has that nice little pouch in the middle for skis, which a lot of Scandinavian European cars have. I love that. Underneath, I've got storage under here, which is really nice. Obviously, there's no spare. You know, EVs don't do that anymore, but it has a nice storage space back here. So what's the verdict on the Polestar 3? Listen, I mean, getting out of my Tesla and into this was a total breath of fresh air, as I've told you guys. It actually is like a performance vehicle that I want to drive, and it's fun. So that's fantastic. It also has an elevated sense of luxury, which is a hard thing to do. Here are the things I really loved about this car. The drive, duh, I've said that a million times. It drives like a performance car. Amen to that. 2, elevated materials. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And included in that was the amazing sound system that I really, really enjoyed. I also like the fact that it looks good, right? It's just a beautifully designed vehicle. What were my dislikes? I mean, this car is expensive, right? It's no bargain, but you know, you gotta pay for nice stuff apparently. That's a thing. What else didn't I like? Hold on. TikTok. Oh, sometimes it was annoying me, telling me I was taking my eyes off the road. It was a little too protective, like other Volvo products, like, oh, put your seatbelt on, take, don't die, put your eyes back on the road. And yeah, that shouldn't annoy me. It's just trying to save my life. But sometimes, like, you want to be naughty. You want to look at your phone. You want to drive a little too fast in a school zone. But not you. I shouldn't do any of those things. So thank you, Polestar. So there we have it. The Polestar 3, the first SUV from Polestar. Boy, it was sure worth the wait. I really enjoyed this car. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Motorhead Mama. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe. See you next time.